Jonathan, welcome. Introduce yourself and tell us all about what's happening in marketing.
Thanks, Tom. Quick intro. I'm just in the podcast room at the moment. So we run a podcast here called the Science of Advertising Show. But my background, Master of Marketing, I was actually a designer before that. So I've worked client side. So I've worked Fortune 500. I've also worked in TV. I've worked in radio. I've worked with the fastest growing digital businesses in the country. But right now we are in a full service performance marketing agency, and we partner with some of the fastest growing brands in Australia and New Zealand. Personally, married with two beautiful 2.5-year-old twin boys.
Wow.
Plenty going on.
Yeah.
But marketing's role.
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Now, before you go on, the people in the audience who are IT people, this is going to be very, very relevant to you because and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but Jonathan may talk about it, but IT is so important for marketing. So instead of doing traditional IT coding and those type of things, please listen to what Jonathan is saying, because I think there could be a career in marketing, but the IT side. So sorry to interrupt. Go on.
That's fine. I can go straight to IT. The important thing to note about IT, more so technology, and it's all encompassing now, is they have a huge amount of influence in terms of what goes on within an organization and the decision-making around it. So a quick story, one of my best friends, he was in IT and he was managing servers and managing everything in between. He started to stumble into marketing and he was trying to make that journey more seamless for his customers. And this is one of Australia's largest painting contractors. He stumbled across a piece of technology called HubSpot, and this is going back 5-6 years ago now, might even be a little bit longer. But he saw this technology and how much time and money this was going to save the business. And this was really early on, to the point where he left that job to start his marketing consultancy in technology. He is now the #1 HubSpot agency in Australia, and he is going absolutely bananas. And the reason he is because he understands technology.
Yep.
So it's really important to know. So marketing automation, AI, machine learning, that will be the future of marketing. Why? Because we're in the experience economy, and technology can help make the experience and the buyer journey better.
And so we've been touting this for ages, that anyone that is IT but perhaps doesn't enjoy it that much and are more salesy, like people say that I'm salesy, what are some of the other tools that they should be learning and becoming familiar with in the marketing area?
Yeah, I'll step back because it's important to understand when you look at marketing, like what is marketing? What is the role of marketing? And it's important to understand where it fits. So marketing, in my view, is to generate attention and to get interest in your product, service, or brand. Sales is to convert that interest into revenue. So what is growing at a rapid rate, and there's a massive shortage of talent in market, is digital marketing.
Right.
So this is growing and it's going bananas. A lot of brands can't find good digital marketers. And specifically right now, it's search and it's social. There's a shortage of talent in market, and brands really still don't know this market, especially social, very well. Sorry, what was your question again, Dom?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, what are some of the other tools that that some of the students could be learning in their own time, perhaps by doing courses like on Udemy, or perhaps doing the online courses offered by the platforms themselves?
The two, like digital marketing, when you say digital marketing, it's such a massive industry and there's so much in it. But I would suggest that every brand needs people that understand search. And within search, we're talking Google primarily. Yep. Two parts of it is SEO. So that's organic. How do I rank higher for my website? And then you got SEM, or paid search. So that's bidding like through the Google platform. So you need to understand search. The other one's social. And again, there's organic. What's organic posting? What does that do? What benefit does it have? But more so, it's the paid strategy that's getting a lot of traction now. And you need to understand both and how they integrate to the holistic marketing funnel. So they're just musts. If you don't understand either of those, chances are you're not going to get a job.
And yeah, I was going to say, what about things like Hootsuite and Buffer and these type of things?
Totally. Like the list goes on. Hootsuite, Buffer, like Crazy Egg, Pipedrive, Optimizely, MailChimp, Marketo, Salesforce, HubSpot, yep. Content Grow. Like the list is massive.
Yep.
But you've got to understand the role that they play.
Yep.
And you want to understand when you're looking at specific organizations, what are they using? What problem? Like when you look at technology, you've got to look at what problem does it solve?
Yep.
And when we look at like, I've sales background, like B2B sales, B2C sales. If I look at B2B sales, if everyone on the call remembers this, this will be the greatest piece of advice you ever get for anything internal. B2B sales, there's only 3 things you ever sell. As a marketer, doesn't matter what you are, IT. First is, how do I make the business more money? That is number 1. Number 2, how do I save the business money? Number 3, how do I save the business time? Make the money, save them time. If those are the crux of your decision making and how you position things with potential employers, you will absolutely crush it.
Yep. Awesome. And that the last 2 in particular sound like engineers to me, and they sound like IT people. Like, these people can participate in it, even though they don't consider themselves to be marketers. So, automation, these type of things, very, very important.
It
Okay.
isn't, but it goes back to the technology and what role does it save? Is it going to generate revenue? So marketing, is it going to generate revenue and attention and interest for the brand? Is it going to convert better, or, the interest we've got, are we going to get more of that to revenue? So that's making money. Or could we let 2 or 3 people go and there's more efficiencies with this piece of technology and it's going to get a better outcome? I'm saving money for the business. Or analyzing the data and understanding what's really working and what's not. And this is a massive gray area right now. There's a lack of analysts and people that really understand marketing and joining the dots to what's converting revenue at the moment. Yep. That will grow, but platforms like HubSpot are helping join the dots there.
And what are some of the tools that are used? Because we actually get asked this all the time. Probably the most popular internship that host companies are asking for. We've got 450 open opportunities at the moment. The number 1 thing is analysts. And a lot of it is in marketing. So what are some of the tools that are being used in that area?
If you want the brutal honesty, it's still quite crude. Okay. And it's literally Excel, it's CSV files, okay. It's turning around data, it's pivoting, and it's coming in with insights. Yep. The challenge is you've got analysts that live in their own world, but they don't know how to tell the story with the data.
Right.
And that's the challenge that I've got. And getting data is not the problem now. It's how do I find the story that's got a meaningful insight that's going to make me money, or save me time.
Yep. Okay, that's great. Well, for some of the things that we've been recommending, and the number 1 data visualization tool on the planet is Tableau. And Tableau recently purchased by Salesforce, I think for $15 billion. I would actually say that every single student needs to learn Tableau, because data is going to be so important in the future. And as you've said, it's the number 1 thing that is missing in marketing at the moment. What about some other insights on the future of marketing?
We're just touching on back that, just so that everyone knows, like MarTech, which all of that falls into. MarTech used to be 2-3% of marketing budgets. It's now encroaching on 15%. So it's becoming more and more important. Yep. But this is why you've got to understand the platforms that are there. So some other things that might be going on, just in terms of marketing, there's 3 main areas. So you've got marketing and its core principles. Then you've got the creative and messaging. And there's also a gap in market here, but this is growing. And especially as we start integrating tech. So it's really understanding human behavior and the neuroscience that sits behind it. So if you're looking at brand, how do you form memory? How do you retrieve memory? How do you embed memory? What does that look like from a copywriting perspective? Right. You've got to understand the neuroscience that sits behind it. You've got the media channels from an advertising perspective. And I will also suggest that, yes, digital first is coming through like no tomorrow. So you have got to understand digital, but please don't be an ostrich. TV is still around, radio is still around, and they're still around there for baby boomers. Baby boomers right now is the biggest cohort, but that's going to change over the next decade.
Wow. Okay.
But don't be an ostrich in terms of just neglect them, because there's some younger people coming through that just go, it's irrelevant. But You've got to understand that word of mouth, what was, is now Facebook, Instagram. Yellow pages that was is search. TV that was is video, which is TV, SVOD, YouTube. Radio is now podcast, Alexa. Newspapers is apps, social, YouTube. So fundamentals don't change, but the marketing mediums do. So if you understand the fundamentals, you'll be fine, because the landscape changes so fast.